The sun was low on the horizon when Captain Luke Harper stood on the deck of the Nighthawk. The ship hovered above the small human colony on Callion 4. The colony had sent an urgent distress signal. Luke could feel the tension in his chest. He knew this mission would test his skills and those of his team. Checked his comlink and heard Queen Claire's calm but firm voice. "Captain Harper, the situation is critical. Our scouts report unusual movements near the colony. The people there are scared. Even our best veterans hesitate to act. You and your team are our only hope." Luke nodded. He knew the Queen's reputation. She was fearless and respected. If she was calling him directly, the threat must be severe. He turned to his team. Riley, his second-in-command, was already checking weapons. Hannah, their sharpshooter, stood silently scanning the horizon. Both of them had been with him through many dangerous missions, and he trusted them completely. "We move at first light," Luke said. "Keep your focus. We cannot fail." The team boarded their hoverbikes. Engines hummed quietly, and the wind swept past them as they descended toward the colony. The air was thick with tension. The villagers watched from below, unsure whether these humans would save them or vanish into the dangers ahead. As they landed, Luke noticed signs of struggle. Buildings were damaged and scorch marks lined the streets. The team split into pairs, moving swiftly and silently. Riley took the left flank, while Hannah moved to the right. Luke led the center, observing every movement. The enemy had not yet seen them. They had the advantage of surprise. The first patrol came into view. Luke raised a hand, signaling the team to wait. He watched the humans carefully. The enemy was not like anything they had fought before. They were organized, strong, and aggressive. One wrong move could alert the entire colony. Luke breathed slowly, steadying his pulse. He gave the hand signal, and the team moved with precision. Hannah fired a single shot. It hit its target exactly where she aimed. The enemy soldier dropped silently, and the others did not hear. Riley used a small pulse grenade to disable a surveillance drone overhead. Luke moved quickly, taking down 2 guards blocking the main street. Their movements were clean, calculated, and silent. It was almost like watching a shadow dance. The villagers peeked out from behind broken walls, hope flickering in their eyes. Suddenly, a loud alarm rang. Luke cursed under his breath. Someone must have seen the bodies. He signaled the team to hold position. The enemy began moving in groups, searching for the intruders. Luke remembered Queen Claire's words. Even veterans feared what they were about to face. He tightened his grip on his weapon, feeling the weight of responsibility. He had to protect the colony and his team. They moved fast, using the ruins to hide and advance. Hannah took out another enemy with her rifle, and Riley disabled a mechanical turret. Luke approached the central square, where he saw the enemy commander. He was taller than the others, armed heavily, and clearly experienced. Luke calculated the risks. He would need precision and speed to take this one down. He whispered instructions to his team, and they prepared for the final move. The attack was sudden. Luke led the charge, moving through the enemy lines like a storm. Riley followed closely, striking with controlled force. Hannah took positions on rooftops, eliminating anyone who tried to escape. In minutes, the enemy commander was defeated, and the remaining soldiers fled or surrendered. The colony was safe for now. Luke looked around at the villagers. Their fear was gone, replaced with awe. He felt the weight of the mission, but also pride. They had succeeded because they moved as one. Queen Claire would know that her special forces had arrived, and the galaxy would begin to understand why even veterans feared humanity's elite. Luke gave a small nod to his team, knowing the fight was far from over. But this was their first victory, and it had set the tone for what was to come. The morning sun rose over the colony, casting long shadows across the streets. Luke Harper and his team were already moving, inspecting the area for any signs of remaining threats. The villagers began to come out of hiding, their eyes wide with relief. Riley and Hannah helped the villagers gather supplies and repair minor damages. Luke studied the horizon, knowing that danger could return at any moment. Suddenly, a scout reported movement on the far edge of the colony. Luke immediately called the team together. They moved quickly to the location, staying low and using cover. What they saw made them tense. A group of enemy soldiers had regrouped and was approaching from the forest. These humans were skilled, and they were clearly aware of Luke's team. There was no room for error. Luke whispered instructions to Riley and Hannah. They would flank the enemy, taking them by surprise. Luke would move straight through the center, drawing attention. They split into position. Riley crept through the left underbrush, and Hannah climbed a tree to get a clear line of sight. Luke advanced slowly, his movements calculated, his weapon ready. The enemy had no idea what was coming. The attack began. Hannah fired first, taking out 2 soldiers silently. Riley followed, disabling a small group with precise hand-to-hand strikes. Luke charged forward, using speed and strength to push through enemy lines. The enemies fought back, but the humans moved like one body, coordinated and deadly. Even the best-trained soldiers could not match their efficiency. The fight reached the edge of the forest. Luke noticed the enemy commander, a tall man with a scar across his face. He moved with authority, directing his soldiers with sharp commands. Luke signaled Riley and Hannah, and together they executed a plan they had used before in training. Riley distracted the commander, while Hannah and Luke closed in. In moments, the commander was disarmed and subdued. The remaining enemy soldiers scattered, realizing they could not win. After the battle, Luke surveyed the area. The forest was quiet again, but the tension remained. He gathered his team and briefed the villagers. They needed to remain alert. Luke knew the enemies would return, and next time they might be stronger. The villagers listened carefully, trusting the humans to keep them safe. Luke's team began organizing defenses, setting traps, and reinforcing buildings. Their skills were unmatched, and even simple preparations could deter a larger force. Queen Claire's voice came over the comlink. "Captain Harper, your efficiency is noted. The galaxy is watching. These actions will be remembered by allies and enemies alike. Continue to hold your ground." Luke acknowledged the message. The Queen's presence, even from a distance, gave him confidence. He turned to his team. "We have done well today, but this is only the beginning. Stay sharp, move fast, protect the people." As night fell, Luke and his team set watches around the colony. The stars above were bright, but the shadows below could hide many dangers. Hannah took the high point on a small tower, scanning the horizon. Riley patrolled the streets, quietly checking doors and alleyways. Luke moved among the villagers, reassuring them and gathering information about possible enemy movements. The humans had shown what they were capable of, and their reputation was growing. Even distant observers in the galaxy would soon know that humanity's special forces were not to be underestimated. Before dawn, Luke called the team together. "Rest well tonight. Tomorrow, we plan our next move. The enemy will try again, and we will be ready." The team nodded, knowing the battles ahead would be tougher, but confident in their skills and coordination. Humanity's elite had proven themselves, and the fear they inspired was only the beginning of their legend. The day began with tension. Luke Harper and his team were patrolling the outer edge of the colony when a sudden explosion shook the ground. Enemy forces had set a trap. Debris flew everywhere, and Luke felt the impact against his shoulder. He quickly recovered and signaled his team to take cover. Riley and Hannah moved into position. Riley used the terrain to his advantage, attacking enemy squads from hidden angles. Hannah climbed a nearby building, taking out enemy marksmen with precise shots. Luke led a direct assault, drawing the attention of the largest group of enemies. They fought fiercely, but the humans were faster, stronger, and smarter. The trap was designed to divide them, but Luke anticipated it. He shouted instructions to his team, moving in synchronization. Riley disabled a bomb hidden in the street while Hannah eliminated a group trying to flank them. Luke confronted the enemy leader directly. The man was heavily armed, but Luke's skill and speed overwhelmed him. In moments, the enemy leader was subdued. The remaining enemy soldiers scattered, leaving supplies and weapons behind. Luke signaled the team to regroup. They moved quickly, using the captured supplies to strengthen their positions. The villagers watched from a safe distance, amazed at the humans' efficiency and courage. They had never seen anything like it before. As the team continued their patrol, they discovered a hidden tunnel leading out of the colony. It was clear the enemy had been planning a larger attack. Luke studied the tunnel, understanding that it could be used against them. He called a brief meeting with his team. "We cannot let them use this. We'll set traps and block their paths. We take control of every advantage." The humans moved fast, setting defenses and planning their next steps. Riley rigged obstacles along the tunnel, while Hannah planted surveillance devices to monitor enemy movement. Luke oversaw the preparations, making sure every detail was perfect. The enemy would not catch them off guard again. Suddenly, a squad of enemy soldiers appeared near the northern fields. Luke signaled his team. They split up, surrounding the enemies. Riley and Hannah moved silently, taking positions to strike from multiple angles. Luke advanced directly, keeping the enemies focused on him. The plan worked perfectly. Within minutes, the enemy squad was neutralized without civilian harm. After the fight, Luke contacted Queen Claire, who reported the events, explaining the trap and the captured supplies. The Queen's voice was calm but firm. "Excellent work, Captain Harper. The galaxy must see that humanity is not to be underestimated. Continue to lead with courage and precision." Luke nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility. His team had proven their skill, but the battles ahead would be even tougher. As night fell, the team remained alert. They patrolled the colony and surrounding areas, making sure no enemy forces returned. Luke observed the stars, thinking about the challenges ahead. He knew the enemy would not give up easily, but he also knew that their special forces were unmatched. Humanity's reputation was growing, and every successful mission increased fear among their enemies. Before resting, Luke gathered his team. "We did well today, but tomorrow brings new challenges. We stay sharp, move fast, and protect the colony. The enemy fears us for a reason, and we will remind them why." The team nodded, understanding the weight of their actions. They were not just soldiers, they were humanity's shield, and the legend of their courage and skill was spreading across the galaxy. The colony was quiet in the early morning, but Luke Harper knew it would not last. Intelligence had reported a large enemy force moving toward the city. That warned the city's special forces into an open battle. Luke called his team together. Riley, Hannah, and Luke himself prepared for infiltration and defense. They would not meet the enemy head-on. They would strike smart and fast. Luke led the team through the city's underground tunnels. The narrow passageways allowed them to move unseen and set traps for any enemy soldiers above. Hannah climbed access points to rooftops, surveying enemy movement and targeting key positions. Riley planted devices to disable enemy vehicles and weapons silently. Every action was calculated, every move precise. The humans had become shadows in the city. The enemy entered the city, confident they would find Luke's team. They began searching street by street, unaware of the hidden dangers. Luke signaled, and the team struck. Hannah fired from above, taking down key enemy soldiers without alerting others. Riley used a collapsing bridge trap, causing confusion and forcing the enemy into narrow alleys where Luke awaited them. The humans moved with perfect coordination, hitting the enemy where they were weakest. Civilians watched from behind barricades, amazed at the humans' skills. Luke and his team prioritized safety, making sure no one was harmed, while the enemy was eliminated. They moved quickly. Using the city's layout to control every fight, the enemy could not predict their tactics. Every street and building had been prepared in advance. The humans' efficiency left the invaders terrified and disoriented. The battle escalated near the central square. The enemy commander arrived, a tall man with heavy armor and strong soldiers. Luke and his team planned carefully. They divided their forces, attacking from multiple angles. Hannah sniped from high points, Riley disabled heavy weapons, and Luke led the direct strike. Within minutes, the enemy commander fell, and the remaining soldiers fled in panic. The team took a moment to regroup. They had cleared the city and secured the civilians. Luke checked his team. No one was hurt. Riley nodded, already planning the next defensive positions. Hannah scanned the horizon, making sure no enemy forces were approaching. The humans had defended the city with precision and bravery, showing why they were feared across the galaxy. Luke contacted Queen Claire. "The city is secure, Your Majesty. Civilians are safe, and enemy forces are retreating." The Queen's voice was calm but carried authority.
"Out on, Captain.
"The galaxy watches, and your actions inspire both allies and fear among our enemies. Continue your vigilance." Luke acknowledged the message, knowing that their success today would only make the next enemy attack more determined. As night fell, the team patrolled the streets and rooftops. They set traps for returning enemies and maintained communication with the villagers. The humans had proven their abilities, and the reputation of humanity's special forces grew with every mission. They were not ordinary soldiers. They were precise, fearless, and unstoppable. Before resting, Luke gathered the team. Today was a victory, but we cannot let our guard down. Tomorrow brings new challenges. We protect the people and strike with skill. Humanity's special forces must always be ready. The team nodded, understanding the gravity of their duty. They were not just fighting for survival. They were building a legend that would spread across the galaxy and make even the strongest soldiers fear humanity as elite. Queen Claire decided it was time to join the front lines. She wanted to inspire the soldiers and ensure humanity's special forces had full support. Luke Harper met the Queen at the staging area with his team. Riley and Hannah prepared their equipment, ready for the mission ahead. The enemy had gathered a strong force in a nearby fortress. It was heavily guarded, but the humans had a plan. Luke briefed the Queen and the team. We strike fast, we hit key positions, and we move as one. Surprise and coordination are our greatest weapons. Queen Claire nodded. She had trained with elite soldiers and understood the risks. The humans moved out, taking advantage of the cover and terrain to approach the fortress. Hannah climbed to a high point, scouting enemy positions and marking targets. Riley planted devices to disable vehicles and communications. Luke led the main assault, keeping the enemy focused on the front. The Queen followed closely, showing her courage and skill, inspiring the soldiers around her. Humanity's special forces were not just strong, they were clever and fearless. The attack began with precise strikes. Hannah eliminated enemy sharpshooters from rooftops. Riley disabled the fortress gates and heavy weapons silently. Luke and the Queen led the charge, moving through enemy lines with speed and force. The soldiers inside the fortress were stunned by the humans' efficiency. Even their best veterans could not match the tactics, speed, and coordination of the humans. The humans took key positions quickly. Queen Claire used her knowledge to direct movements, ensuring every strike was effective. Luke confronted the enemy commander, a tall and heavily armed man. The battle was fierce, but Luke's skill and the Queen's leadership turned the fight in their favor. Riley and Hannah supported them, striking at the enemy from all sides. In a short time, the fortress was under human control. The remaining enemy forces tried to regroup, but the humans anticipated their moves. They blocked escape routes, capturing many soldiers. The fortress fell completely, and humanity had sent a clear message. Queen Claire addressed the team. Today we showed that courage, skill, and unity make us unbeatable. This is why humanity's special forces are feared across the galaxy. Luke nodded, knowing the Queen's presence had made a difference. Morale among the humans was high, and fear among the enemies grew. After securing the fortress, the humans tended to captured soldiers and civilians. They ensured that order was restored and that no further attacks would immediately follow. Luke and his team worked with Queen Claire to plan the next moves. Intelligence indicated that the enemy would not give up easily, but humanity's special forces had proven their strength and strategy. As the sun set, Luke gathered the team. We have achieved a major victory today, but we remain vigilant. Our enemies will try again, and we must be ready. We move with speed, strike with precision, and protect humanity at all costs. Riley and Hannah nodded, understanding the ongoing danger. Queen Claire gave a final word of encouragement, reminding them of their duty and the fear they had instilled in the enemy. That night, humanity's special forces rested in the fortress. They were ready for whatever challenge came next. Their legend had grown stronger, and the galaxy would remember the courage and skill of these soldiers. The Queen and her team had proven that even the most experienced veterans feared the humans when they fought as one. The next morning, Luke Harper and his team were on patrol around the fortress. They were watching for any signs of enemy retaliation. Suddenly, a warning came from scouts. An enemy sympathizer had been working within human ranks. The traitor had led a group into a deadly trap. Luke's heart sank. The Queen had been captured during the chaos. Riley and Hannah immediately prepared for a rescue operation. The enemy had underestimated human skill and courage, but they still managed to catch one of their most important leaders. Luke studied the enemy positions and the layout of the area. The enemy had set up heavy defenses and watchtowers. It would require strategy and precision to get the Queen back. He called his team together. "We move carefully, strike smart, and bring her home. We cannot fail." Riley checked weapons, and Hannah reviewed her sniper positions. The humans had faced tough battles before, but this was personal. They advanced under cover, using the terrain and shadows to stay unseen. Hannah climbed trees and rooftops to scout, marking enemy positions. Riley moved silently along walls and alleys, disabling alarms and traps. Luke led the direct path, keeping focus on the Queen's location. Every step was calculated. The humans had learned from previous fights, and their movements were precise and coordinated. As they approached the enemy stronghold, they saw the Queen being held in a secure area. Guards patrolled around her, unaware of the humans moving close. Luke signaled his team. Riley and Hannah took positions to strike simultaneously. Luke charged at the front, drawing attention. The plan worked perfectly. The guards were overwhelmed, and the humans reached the Queen quickly. Queen Claire smiled briefly, showing trust in her special forces. She joined the fight, helping disable guards and secure the area. The humans moved as one, striking with speed and accuracy. The enemy had no chance against their coordination and skill. Luke and his team led the way, removing every threat systematically. The captured Queen was free, and the enemy forces were in chaos. They moved swiftly out of the stronghold, using hidden paths and pre-planned exits. Hannah took out the remaining lookouts from a distance, while Riley destroyed equipment to slow enemy pursuit. Luke covered the retreat, ensuring no one was left behind. The humans' efficiency and courage left the enemy shaken. Even their most experienced soldiers could not predict the moves of these special forces. After the rescue, the team regrouped at a safe location. Queen Claire thanked each member personally, acknowledging their bravery and skill. Luke reported to her, explaining every detail of the operation. The Queen's presence inspired the team, and her capture and rescue had reminded them why their work was so critical. As night fell, Luke gathered the team. "We have saved the Queen and struck fear into the enemy. This is why they fear humanity's special forces. But the war is not over. We stay alert, move fast, and strike with precision. Humanity must remain strong." Riley and Hannah nodded, ready for whatever came next. The humans had shown courage, skill, and unity, proving that even the toughest veterans across the galaxy feared them when they acted as one. Their legend continued to grow with each battle. Luke Harper and his team prepared for the final strike. The Queen was back with them, fully recovered and ready to lead. Intelligence indicated that the enemy was regrouping in a fortress far from the colony. It was the last stronghold before they could reach other human settlements. Luke, Riley, and Hannah reviewed the plan carefully. The humans would strike fast, precise, and together. There was no room for error. They approached the fortress at dawn, using hidden routes and natural cover. Hannah climbed a tower to mark enemy positions, while Riley planted devices to disable heavy weapons. Luke led the charge, keeping focus on the enemy commander. The Queen stayed close, coordinating movements and inspiring the soldiers. The humans moved like one unit, swift and unstoppable. The battle began with sudden strikes. Hannah fired at enemy snipers, taking them out silently. Riley disabled alarms and heavy turrets. Luke and the Queen charged through the front, taking on the main group of enemies. Every movement was precise, every attack calculated. The enemy had no idea what was happening. They had never faced humans who moved so fast and worked together so effectively. The enemy commander tried to rally his forces, but Luke anticipated every move. Riley and Hannah attacked from different angles, cutting off escape routes. The humans used speed and coordination to isolate the commander. Luke confronted him directly, defeating him with skill and strength. The remaining soldiers surrendered or fled, unable to resist humanity's elite. Once the fortress was under control, Luke and his team secured all prisoners and disabled remaining weapons. The Queen addressed the team, praising their courage and precision. She reminded them that humanity's special forces were not just soldiers. They were symbols of skill, courage, and unity. Their reputation had spread across the galaxy, and even the most experienced veterans feared them. After the battle, the humans returned to the colony. Civilians cheered as the team arrived. Luke, Riley, Hannah, and Queen Claire had proven their abilities beyond doubt. The enemy had been defeated completely. Humanity's strength, intelligence, and courage were clear for all to see. That night, Luke gathered his team. We have completed our mission. The enemy will think twice before attacking humans again. This is why humanity's special forces are feared. We move fast, strike with precision, and protect our people. Our legend grows with each victory. Riley and Hannah nodded, proud of their accomplishments. Queen Claire stood beside them, confident in her people's skill. As they looked at the stars, Luke thought about the battles ahead. The galaxy was vast, and threats would continue to appear. But humanity's special forces had proven they were unmatched. Their courage, strategy, and teamwork were their greatest weapons. Even veterans across the galaxy would think twice before facing them. The humans rested that night, knowing that the world was safer because of their actions. The Queen, Luke, Riley, and Hannah had shown that when humanity fought together, no enemy could stand against them. The legend of humanity's special forces was complete, and their story would inspire fear and respect across the galaxy for generations to come.